Hey everyone, welcome to this episode 2, which is the part 2 of the database introduction. In this episode, we're going to talk about how we build our relationship, because previously we have mapped out what kind of table that we need for designing this system. So we have defined 4 different tables. So we talk about first, you need to have a customer, then who is interested in some of the product. So he can add that product into a shopping cart, which is form part of the order item, and then this will be part of the order, so he can place, right? So we finish up there, but we know that in the flow of the actual behavior done by the customer, there are more actions for him to do, because once he's adding to the order, he's gonna finalize that order to make a payment or sort of things, right? And we have the goods ship out, so we'll map that in probably the future accountant. So for today, we're going to try to do is link those tables together to build up this kind of relational database model. So first we think about how the table is going to relate to other 3 tables. Normally, tables are linked in a chain. For example, you have a family. In that family, you have parents. Parents have their child. The child have their own child. So it's say, look at a pyramid. Over the top, you have 1 point. Going down further, you have multiple data points. So that's 1 to many, 1 to many, 1 to many. If you follow this 1 to many relationship and going downwards, you will have no problem for the modeling. Same was over here. So we have a customer. One customer. Customer has no direct interaction with the product table, but somehow will reach that. For example, you can see at the order level, a customer has to say, okay, I'm going to place something. This part, you actually be part of the order as a order customer ID in the order table. So in here, once I drag that customer ID back to this customer table, customer ID, this added relationships window will pop up. It will say you have choose 2 columns to link together, and it's from which table. For example, this customer ID from customer table, this customer ID from the order table. Just to remember, simplify that the golden relationship in the relational model is 1 to many. That's the only legitimate relationship. So we can say one customer has many orders. One order can only have 1 customer. So that's why the customer will be the one side, many side will be the order. So we gonna make sure we take this enforce referential integrity, and the cascade update related cascade delete. We can just leave that for now. Let's just create. Once create, you can see there's a line between these 2 tables. There's a little sign of this 1 you can see over here, and there's another side which is the many, which is like infinite. So that part is saying this will be the one side of that relationship. So one customer has many orders. One order can only have 1 customer. Okay, let's jump out that. Once we have that foundation knowledge about this 1 to many relationship, we're going to go down to the road to find more about that to link all the tables. You can also know that once you have the order in the place as a container about all your shopping experience, inside a particular order, we have multiple order line items. This is where this order line item table come into play. So that's why we have this ID over here. We can link back to this order ID. Once we've done that, we do the same thing, enforce referential integrity, and the relationship is 1 to many, which is great. Once we hit that, we go into this. And then we check what is the relationship between the last table, which is the order item, and product. Think about 1 order item can be 1 product, but in sort of things, there's a relationship between this product ID and that, and the product ID in the product table. Can enforce that as well. Now I have that. Because product ID in the product table is going to be uniquely identify itself from row to row. Each row is different product ID. But in the order line item, you can have that reproduced multiple times from different lines because they belong to different orders. Totally makes sense. So now we have this relationship. But look at this table is a little bit weird, but you can see if I align them together, we have 1 customer may have multiple orders. For each of the order, they have multiple order line item. And for each of the product, they can appear multiple times in that order item table. So that's the whole mapping that we are having. Now I'm going to do a little bit test about the information, if they can flow through the map. Let's just pretend that we're going to be a customer, and also we're going to place something. So in here, we're going to go into close this, and it will say, do you want to save this layout of the relationships? You say yes. Now we pretend we are the first customer. This field, since it's a primary key, we don't need to manage that. System will manage that once you have value inside. So I put my name and last name. Now we have my email. Remember, before we make this column as a hyperlink, that's why it's becoming this kind of text you can click on. So for the cities, I will put a city. In suburb, we call it, say, the Burwood. Postcode, let's put a random one. I don't know what's the postcode. Address, we just type something randomly. Say, Corner Street, Cook Street. Once we've done this, you can see I already have that. For a particular customer, I have different orders to place. That's because the reason you have this plus sign is because we have defined that relationship. There's a one-to-many between this customer table and the order table. But that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the order to have something done. You can see if I click the order, it will let us define the customer ID, and there's an order. So for example, if I put an order date for today, and then customer ID, if I random type one, for example, 2. The reason I cannot put 2 because there's no customer 2 exist in our design system. Remember, in the relationship pane, if I go into here, for this relationship, we have ticked this enforce referential integrity. What this does is that it will check whenever the ID has to be existing both, and then you can move it forward. When you place an order, if the customer ID cannot be found from the customer table, the system doesn't allow you to do that. You can't add a ghost order without any customer existing in the current customer table. That's why in this kind of design, we tick this button to ensure there's no orphan order exist. In order to place an order in the system, you have to be a legitimate customer first. So there's a dependency on that, which is making sense. You can't have an empty person to place an order without any legitimate customer ID, right? So that's why if we're going to here, the reason we can't put 2 because we only have one customer, which is the customer ID is 1. If I put a 1, it will let me go through. There's another way to do that. If I go into Control Z, we're going to delay this record. Another way is always going to the one side of the table, and then you can put a manual order. This will be like, say, a parent and child. This way you can place an order, right? Once you have done, you've done this, and then if we're going back to check the order, you can see it's not there because this order is still in the pencil status, which means it's still editing. Now, if we close this order or reopen that, you can see that order has come through. So under the order, you can even add more order item, but now you can't add the product because the same thing. We don't have that the product exists, so we need to make sure we have product. So product, we just do a test. CD. For this product, we're going to say test product. Description, we're going to say test. Selling price is $100. The purchase price is $80. Okay, once we've done this, we close that. Now, if we go into the order item, now we're going to the order, expand this menu. If we add this as a 1, now you can place an order. So how many quantity do you have placed? Just say 50. We've done this data entry, but if we look at everything from the very top, going back to this relationship, if I open this table, I'm able to draw through to the order and draw through again to the order item. In the order item, I'm able to review what kind of product and what kind of quantity have been placed, right? Now we go into the customer table. We expand this plus sign. Now we can see Barben has placed an order on today, which with the order ID 2. And let's see what kind of order item he has placed. The one product with 50 quantity. Let's just make it more realistic by adding a second, which is second ABCC product, test product 2 and test. This time we gave a little lower price and purchase price would be like, say, $10. Once we've done this, we're gonna go into add one more line in the order item table. We're gonna say this time we add that we purchase hundreds because it's very cheap. Now I have done this. So you can see the hierarchy that one customer placed one order. In that one order, we have 2 items. For each item, line item, we're placing different product ID. For example, the first line is product 1 with 50 quantity. Line 2 is product 2 with 100 quantity. So that kind of information is successfully flow through in this hierarchy. We can go back to check one order is correct. Order item, we have 2 lines that belong to the same order. You can see the order ID. And for the product, we have 2 products. And if I expand that, I can see each product has been used in what kind of order item, line item. You can see if I expand that, right? Very clear. So that's the structure we're having in this database design in the very introductive stage. In the next stage, we're going to introduce more about how to design a user interface to help you speed up the data entry process. And see you guys in the next one.